Have you ever heard of a civilization so advanced, so prosperous, that it just disappeared overnight? No, this isn't the plot of a sci-fi movie. This is the real-life mystery of the Indus Valley civilization. One of the most fascinating and enigmatic chapters in human history. Imagine a civilization sprawling across what is now modern-day Pakistan and northwest India, flourishing over 4,000 years ago. This wasn't just a small settlement, it was a colossal society, larger than ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia combined. Its cities, like Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, were marvels of urban planning. We're talking about meticulously laid out streets in a grid pattern, sophisticated drainage and sewer systems that would make some modern cities jealous, and multi-story houses built from uniform, baked bricks. They even had the world's first known toilets. These people were way ahead of their time. The Indus Valley people, or Harappans as they're often called, were not just brilliant engineers. They were master traders. Archaeologists have found their distinctive seals and pottery as far away as Mesopotamia, which is modern-day Iraq. This suggests a bustling trade network that crossed mountains and seas. They traded cotton, which they were among the first to cultivate, along with precious stones like lapis lazuli and carnelian. Think about that for a second. Thousands of years ago, they were running an international import-export business. Their society seemed incredibly peaceful and egalitarian. Unlike the Egyptians with their grand pharaoh tombs or the Mesopotamians with their monumental palaces for kings, the Harappans left behind no opulent royal graves or massive temples dedicated to all-powerful rulers. Their buildings are remarkably uniform, suggesting a society with less social stratification. Even more striking is the near-total absence of weapons of war. No swords, no battle axes, no fortified walls built for defense. It paints a picture of a stable, peaceful society that thrived for centuries without major conflicts. And then there's their writing. Yes, they had a written language. A beautiful script filled with intricate symbols of animals, humans, and abstract designs. It's been found on thousands of small soapstone seals, pottery, and tablets. Here's the catch, the ultimate cliffhanger of history. We can't read it. Not a single word. Despite decades of effort by the world's brightest minds, the Indus script remains undeciphered. It's like finding a library full of books you can't open. What secrets do these texts hold? Are they epic poems, historical records, or maybe just ancient shopping lists? We simply don't know. The silence of their script is one of the biggest reasons the Indus Valley remains so mysterious. So, we have this picture of a highly advanced, peaceful, and organized civilization. They were masters of city planning, pioneers of international trade, and had a complex written language. They were thriving. And then, around 1900 BC, something changed. The vibrant cities began to decline. The meticulous urban planning faltered, trade networks collapsed, and the elegant script started to disappear. Within a few short centuries, the once mighty civilization was gone. The grand cities were abandoned, left to be swallowed by the earth, their memory fading into legend. What could possibly cause such a total collapse? This is the billion-dollar question that has puzzled historians and archaeologists for generations. For a long time, the leading theory was a dramatic invasion. The idea was that nomadic warriors, perhaps the Indo-Aryans, swept in from the north with their horse-drawn chariots and superior weapons, and simply conquered the peaceful Harappans. It's a dramatic story, right? The problem is, there's very little evidence to back it up. Remember the lack of weapons. Well, archaeologists have also found no signs of a massive battle, no layers of ash from burning cities, no mass graves of war casualties. The invasion theory has largely fallen out of favor. So if it wasn't war, what was it? The next major suspect is Mother Nature. The Indus Valley civilization was built around the mighty Indus River and another, now vanished river often identified as the Ghaggar Hakra. What if the climate changed? Evidence suggests a major shift in weather patterns around that time. The monsoons, which the Harappans depended on for agriculture, may have weakened or shifted, leading to prolonged drought. Imagine their carefully planned farms turning to dust. The rivers they relied on for water and trade routes could have dried up or changed course. Geological studies have shown evidence of massive tectonic activity in the region. A huge earthquake could have diverted the course of rivers, flooding some areas while starving others of water. Think about it, if your entire water source suddenly moves miles away, your city is doomed. It wouldn't be a single catastrophic event, but a slow, creeping environmental crisis that made life in the big cities unsustainable. The population would have been forced to abandon their homes and move to smaller, more rural settlements, trying to adapt to their new, harsher reality. Over generations, their sophisticated urban culture would have simply faded away. This theory of environmental collapse is currently the most widely accepted one. It wasn't a sudden disappearance overnight, but more of a slow, painful decline over a century or two. The people didn't just vanish. They dispersed. Their descendants likely integrated with other local groups. And their knowledge and culture, once so advanced, were gradually lost. The great cities of Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa lay buried and forgotten for nearly 4,000 years, until their rediscovery in the 1920s brought their incredible story back to light. But even with this compelling theory, questions remain. Was it really just climate change? Or a combination of factors? Could disease have played a role? Sweeping through the densely populated cities, did internal social or political turmoil weaken them from within, making them vulnerable to environmental pressures, without being able to read their writing? We are left to piece together the story from silent artifacts and geological data. The fate of the Indus Valley civilization is a powerful and humbling reminder. It shows us that even the most advanced and prosperous societies are not invincible. It's a 4,000-year-old cautionary tale about the delicate balance between civilization and the environment. They were masters of their world until their world changed, and in their silent, abandoned cities, we see a reflection of our own vulnerabilities. The search for answers continues. Every new excavation, every new technological advancement in archaeology brings us a little closer to understanding what truly happened. Perhaps one day, a Rosetta Stone for the Indus script will be found, and the people of the valley will finally be able to tell us their own story, in their own words. Until then, they remain history's greatest vanishing act. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If you found this mystery as captivating as I do, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the forgotten corners of history. See you next time.